Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. It is indeed a fantastic Friday as we invite you to be a part of today's Talk Today. It's going to be open line, 949-8037, 949-6990. Let's see, between us, we can not only solve the world's problems, we create a little strife in the community. I don't know, is that what we want to do? But we certainly want to hear from you. What it is that is important that you want to share with us. Well, take advantage of this open line opportunity here and Talk Today. 949-8037. We'll make it easier for you. Flo says, guess what? They'll pick up the tab. You know they're cheap. No, I'm just kidding. 949-8037. 1-800-534-8255. Oh, Miss Susan said you got in trouble now for saying that. Nah, just tight. Or you can give us a shout. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. And as we go to our phones and invite you to be a part of our Talk Today. Good afternoon and welcome. You're on Talk Today. Hey, good afternoon.
Tony Powell here, sir.
Mr. Powell, how are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. Just want to voice my concern on an issue.
Uh-huh.
These illegal motorcycles on the road. On any given Sunday, there's between 50 and 100 that passes through.
Yes, sir.
Exceeding the speed limits, wheelies, whatever you want to talk about. Spoke informally to some of the police officers. They have said that they have a directive not to pursue them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the Cayman Compass, on Friday, May the 3rd, it said that 2,120 people have been ticketed. Fair enough. But what message is it sending? If you are legal, we can't chase you. But if you're legal, we can ticket you. So the mothers and fathers and everybody trying to get work in the morning is eligible to a ticket. But those that ride our roads are not eligible. On any given hour of the day in Cayman, these people are on these motorcycles.
You know, I'm glad that you've taken a couple of minutes to share with us because today, just today alone, you're counting your public call, you will be the third person. So two others this morning have called and shared and asked, could we talk about that earlier? From the perspective of not just the mass riders out, joyriding or enjoying themselves as it were, but the one or two together, not just riding along, doing the wheelies and drawing attention, but seemingly just by appearances riding bikes that, according to one guy this morning, just his observation. Is it okay if I tell you the direction the guy was coming, the road he was going? Would that be improper? So Miss Susan said that's okay. So she's your legal advisor. No, she's not. This is on me. So he said, I called the road by the intersection with the lights, with like a store, the gas station, and newspaper place. Whatever that road's called. So he's coming towards us. If I was coming to work, he's coming asking direction, and the motorbike is coming in the opposite way. Now, the other fella saw it on, I call it Bobby Thompson, where they used to drag race long ago by the old agriculture field.
Yeah, something like that.
Right, okay. So in that road. So the other fella say he saw it on there. Two separate instances, seemingly at two different times this morning, and what seemed to be two individuals on bikes that looked, from appearances, with no lights, no license plates and the like, and seemingly, these dirt bike-like things. Now, fair enough, these guys want to get to work as well. But to your point, his questions were, he had to have insurance, he had to have a driver's license, he had to have insurance, and the bike has to be licensed. Right. So he's paying whatever the amount is to license his bike or his car. But just like you, as you were sharing, how come the illegal and the unscrupulous can be sort of profiting at the expense of the others? What do we do about it?
I'll tell you what I would do.
Uh-huh.
I said to someone, a high official, about a couple of weeks ago, I raised my concern about this. I said, what will happen if one of these illegal bikes run into a person? They said, it depends on who's at fault. Come on, that is crap.
But isn't it against the law, sir, to drive on the road without license and insurance?
It is against the law, but how can the police officers, the commissioner of police, the head of the traffic department, ignore illegal riders on the road, but yet ticket the legal ones? So if I get a motorcycle on the road and has no roadworthiness, no insurance, no license, the police don't pursue me.
Right.
But those that are legal are pursued and prosecuted. It is no two sides of the law.
Right.
And if anything was to ever happen to me, I would sue the commissioner of police in his capacity. Mind you, I think he's doing a good job otherwise. And the head of the traffic department, because they have failed in their duties to carry out the law as prescribed under the traffic law.
Okay. Well, thanks for raising that, because that was the point someone else had made us recently. It's the idea of, did he say transferred liability? He used a term that I wasn't familiar with, but somehow that's what I thought he said. And I asked to explain it. He said basically there is this notion that because something like that, use the example of the unlicensed, uninsured cars that are on the road, and this seemingly acceptance by the authorities to let it slide. If something happens, then could we sue the government? Is what he said, not just.
Of course you could, because under the law they have not carried out their duties.
Okay. Well, let me give you two more. One, unlicensed cars, but two, start with the second one first. Apparently, there are individuals who go, I call it the deck roads, so go on private lands, undeveloped lands, and they ride, sometimes without permission, so the private landowner can say, listen, we don't want you trespassing. But apparently, and I only heard this in one instance, someone was riding up in, I call it the deck roads and so on private land, away from the traffic, just joyriding, having fun. And the police, I believe it was, as I understand it, came and said, we can arrest you for this. You're, breaking the law. And they said, well, we're in private land. Now, okay, we could be trespassing if we didn't have permission, but we're not on the road. And I gather from what I was told that there was some sort of a heated discussion and exchange that took place, but on the premise that the police had some authority in that private property to arrest these people for riding illegally.
Wherever you commit a crime, it is a crime. Whether it's on private property or public property. No,
understandably.
Yeah.
But what I think the argument, from what I gather, how it sort of revolved around the issue that the individuals, on the belief that they had permission to use this property, that they were not on public lands and public roads and so on, that they were okay to ride these dirt bikes, right? Go-karts, dirt bikes, four-wheelers, three-wheelers, whatever they are.
Well, that's an issue that could be debatable.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
Roads.
Yeah. Believing that, landowners say, yes, go ahead and use it, no problem, you ordered it, we don't have a problem with it, right? They didn't have it in writing, they had it in verbal, but the issue was that the police said, no, you're breaking the law, these things need to be licensed. And then it ensued, well, hang on the public roads, we've seen this thing, and nobody's doing anything about it. And then secondly, one of the two callers this morning to me shared, look at the cars that are on the roads, allegedly, that are not licensed and are not insured, and we're okay with that as well. Not just the motorbikes that we can see and we've somehow castigated, but the amount of other cars that are being driven every day that knowingly are unlicensed, not insured, whether the drivers have a license or not, is the one issue. And everybody, police and included, seemingly turn a blind eye to it.
About a month ago, there was an issue with some of these motorcycles in Prospect where a robbery took place. Of course, they're going to use these vehicles because there's no registration. There's no way to trace them. And this will continue to happen because they know that there's no paperwork to trace them.
Right. But
there's no way in the world where you can drive a motorcycle without it being properly license insured and the driver license insured.
Right. Well, we understand that some jurisdictions have, I'll use a term that I was familiar with in Florida, uninsured motorist, insurance coverage, right? But you can buy that to sort of protect yourself against these mishaps. I use that to ask a question. Why is it, and when has it happened, if it is seemingly the ethos, that in our society now, that unlike in the past where, take for instance, we would go to the docks, clear our cars, many of us would have it insured then and probably go straight to the license, and the police get a license, right? Now we'll happily drive, for years and years if we can get away with it, without license, without insurance, without even a driver's license. What has happened in our society? That sort of mindset has now become commonplace, as opposed to that view and practice that we had way back when, that we were a little bit more respectful of our laws.
My point is simple. Legal people being prosecuted, illegal and allowed to do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand that the directors have come from the top of the police force, and I'm not totally bashing him because overall the performance has been good. And personally, I like the new commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't have the law which applies to one part of the country or some people of the country and doesn't apply to the other part. It makes absolutely no sense. And this cannot continue to go on. It has to be addressed, because you know what's going to happen? When there's a major accident, the police cars are going to come from all directions of the island screaming, doing 70 miles an hour because somebody got killed. Let's avoid that.
Right. But if that directive has come from, let's just say, for instance, the commissioner says, let's not do that. Would you think that the commissioner probably got instructions from somebody or some entity above him?
I don't know who he got it from, but I can tell you it is wrong. Because if the police chase a motorcyclist and he breaks the law by speeding, it is another charge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my understanding that they don't pursue him because of what happened in spots that day when it was alleged that someone robbed somewhere and escaped on a motorcycle and they chased him and got in an accident. If you break the law, you must be prosecuted. So if they are speeding with these illegal motorcycles, they should be prosecuted. Yeah. So pursuing him and him running is another charge. Or he or whoever it is that's riding these motorcycles. Now, on the other side of the fence, we need somewhere for them to vent this sport. We need some way for them to do it, because obviously it's a problem. So I'm not just looking at this side of it, which has to be addressed certainly, but on the other side of it, it also needs to be addressed where we can provide somewhere for these people to
fully agree.
Exercise, the sport wherever they want to do it.
They could become professionals, and that could not only be another sports, right? But again, the question that I keep hearing asked and nobody seems to answer. Somewhere down the line, at some point in our society, we have developed this ethos, this mindset that within our people we can, break the law. We can act with impunity, drive our cars without license and insurance. We can do all these things, and laws, no longer apply to some.
Is it fair to the hard-working person going to work in the morning, license insurance, but I'm 10 miles over the limit to get a ticket, while everyone else on these motorcycles can tour each part of Cayman any hour of the day and the night, in the night without lights, and yet are ignored by the police? It is wrong. It is totally wrong.
But we're seeing that with so many other things too, right? And this is more than just the idea of the broken windows concept. I mean, if you look at the, allegedly, I should say, people in public places, car parks, and the like, just assemble, and I'm told it's still against the law to drink in public spaces, to have open containers. I'm told it's still illegal to have a ganja spliff in public spaces, depending on who you are. So many other things allegedly that are against the law that we as a society, whether it's law enforcement or otherwise, seem to turn a blind eye. When
you turn a blind eye to criminal activity, it continues to increase.
Yep, I think that may be the case, yeah.
I mean, Cayman is still a tranquil place compared to many places of the world, but that don't mean that we should allow certain sectors and certain things to continue in certain sectors.
It will get worse,
public, illegal bikers, or we should uphold the law. I know maybe it's a resource problem, but we shouldn't turn blind eye to minimal law, criminal activity, because that will only cause it to increase, because they're saying, hey, the police is now looking at me, so I can do this. And then I'll take the other step and do this.
But it's not only that it may be a resource problem, whether people or financial or equipment, but I'm asking us as a people, right? The adults who do this, the parents who may either know or suspect that these things happen, whatever these things are. Why are we, willing as a society to do these things and to accept that these things are happening in our society?
I mean, I don't know why we haven't found some way for these people. I mean, I've seen money spent in different areas to address issues that could well be spent in these particular corners. to assist, because I just don't want to prosecute the police. Prosecute these people and bash the police. That is not me.
No,
I'm not totally, the police are doing a decent job overall.
Yeah.
But this issue in particular has to be dealt with ASAP.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Powell.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. And now when we come back, let's talk more about that. Thanks to Ms. Susan for giving us almost 3 minutes past the break. But hey, we love to talk, and some of us like to listen. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
I have various items coming from different suppliers that I need to ship to Cayman. Do you offer consolidation?
Yes. Seaboard Marine offers consolidation for full and less than container loads. We can hold your packages at our Miami warehouse until everything arrives and ship it all in one go. And we have the best rates to Grand Cayman. Visit seaboardmarine.com for more information.
Shipping shore to shore.
I love you, Mom.
Mother's Day is right around the corner. Treat the moms in your life to something special with elegant floral arrangements and gifts from Celebrations.
Thank you, Mom.
Enter to win a Best Mom Ever brunch pack for Mom by spending $150 or more on any Mother's Day design. Celebrations makes gift giving easy with beautiful floral arrangements tailored to every taste. Express your sweetest sentiment and make her day special. Offering island-wide delivery and extended Mother's Day hours. Open Sunday, May 12th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Order online at celebrationsgifts.com or visit our new location at 64 Kingbird Drive, Industrial Park.
My mother, I love you.
New stock has just arrived at Super Stitch. Now don't take my word for it. Drop by and see for yourself. Fresh off the boat, we have loads of fabric, vinyl upholstery fabric, fabric for cushions, outdoor fabrics, and dress fabric. That's not all. Super Stitch has sewing accessories and craft items. Included in the new shipment, you will find sheets, comforters, throw pillows, bath mats, rugs, and curtains for every room in your home. Super Stitch, 39 Pasadora Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best price in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky.
I support building the piers because the cruise industry puts millions of dollars into our economy each year. Without that revenue, young people like me risk facing an uncertain future. Learn more and spread the word.
Looking forward, looking bright. Support our port, support our tourism.
Have you just completed a weekend cleanup project? Do you plan to dispose of old appliances, electronics, or even hazardous waste? Dispose of these items at the 24-hour drop-off site located at the entrance of the Georgetown landfill. This site is open to the public daily for your convenience. Do your part. Keep Cayman clean. For more tips on proper waste handling, visit the DEH website at www.deh.gov.ky.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. 949-8037 or 949-6990. Or you can call us on the Flow toll-free line with the kind compliments of Flow at 1-800-534-TALK. That's 1-800-534-8255. And as the caller, he called, he said, this is Tony Powell. I think everybody knows Mr. Powell. And he shared his view. I think, as he said, he's not trying to bash the police, commends, the job that they're doing, not, lamenting that it's an issue for the young fellows and male and female who are enjoying the sport. But how do we do it safely and recognizing that perhaps laws are not being enforced, laws perhaps are being openly broken? What about the issues of liability? And is there a way that we can find a happy balance? Just off the break, someone called and said, it seems that in this community, we're gradually becoming accepting that it's okay to break laws, and some laws are, perhaps even more so, and by some people even more often. Now, should that be where we are? We know, for those of us who have lived or are from other places or who travel, that there are some things, and even smoking in public places, litter, even the way certain things are expected to behave. The train is supposed to depart exactly on time. That the culture and ethos of that particular society is that this is how it is, and there's no deviation. Why are we accepting of bad behavior and the like? Let's go to our phones. Welcome, you're on Talk Today.
Good afternoon to you, Sterling Green.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you today?
Yes, fine. I 100% agree with Mr. Powell here.
Yes, sir.
Issue. It's ongoing, and we know it, and it's illegal, and they're not insured. The danger is if they hit someone. Could be a pedestrian, because the way they're riding these on keyring without lights in the night, 4, 5, or 6 abreast at a time. I've seen it, and other people have seen it also. So you're not saying anything that people don't know about for a long time now. And it baffles me why nothing is done about it by the law. I can't agree with the fact that you can't arrest them, you can't prosecute them. The whole thing boils down to that word, Winston Churchill's famous word, courage, the first of all human qualities. You won't get anything accomplished when you have a serious issue without serious solutions, serious decisions that will trample on people's feet. But in the majority, it will benefit the majority, and that's all that matters. The majority are safe. They could hit someone and make them, if they didn't kill them, or kill themselves also, they could make that person totally disabled for the rest of their lives. They'd have to be a ward of the government, because there's no money, there's no insurance, there's nothing, there's no accountability. There's a way to solve that. The moment these bikes are imported, we don't manufacture any bikes, we don't manufacture guns, we don't manufacture anything. Most of the things that are used in criminal procedures and are imported. We know the bikes, when they come in, they must have a serial number, they must pass through customs. Immediately the person who is clearing that bike through customs would have to insure it, pay an insurance before they are allowed to remove the bike from the customs warehouse. And the police would have it recorded that that bike has been insured and the registration number, and it is supposed to be licensed. If it's not licensed, then the police can track it and trace it. It doesn't matter who then is the rider, who then is the owner, or whatever. The person who has imported the bike is responsible. That's it. There must be a responsible trace somewhere of paperwork, and that it would end and start and end with that person. To me, that's a very simple solution to how to have someone accountable for those bikes being on the road. If they keep checking at the end of the year, that bike is unlicensed or uninsured or any period, the police can easily do that by checking with the licensing department and insurance company, because it had to be insured to be cleared from there. So you will check and see if it's still insured and if it has been licensed, the serial number is there and so forth. If not, then you go to the owner, the person who imported it, and say, well, I sold it, I gave it to this one. No, you're responsible. You're responsible. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, but that's the way to trace that right there. The other thing, Sterling Green, I want to talk about, and it's a serious issue. Often, when I used to call in to the radio stations, I often stated, and I don't think people realize the importance of what I was saying when I said we must always remember we are a British crown colony, a British territory, crown territory, whatever you want to say. Government land is crown land. So Her Majesty is the only person that we can call a crown, as far as I know. So it's a crown colony, in my opinion, in my beliefs. We're talking about sometimes self-determination and a move towards independence. We hear a lot of people with that recently because of the fact of serious issues that we know may come our way as a directive, as we call it, an edict in the old days, an order in council it's called now, and all that. The way for any country to move forward is to advance the constitutional rights that you have. We have a constitution, a document agreed upon with the British political directorate, as we know, as because of us being a crown territory, that it has to be agreed upon by them, that it has to give certain inalienable rights to the British to do certain things, and we operate, our elected representatives operate within a parameter set out by the... We all know that by now. For us to move forward with the Constitution, I do not think we need to have referendums to decide on changes to the Constitution that would give us more. We have 19 men elected in a referendum in 2017, I think it was. It's a referendum, just that you're deciding on people, not issues then, and each of them have been informed of the issues that the people who elected them have. So we can say, if you want to group it together and say decided on issues, it's entirely up to you, and they ran on manifestos with certain issues in it, but that's beside the point I'm making. They should be able, in agreement and concert with them, to change and move forward the Constitution without going back to the people on each of those issues and hold a referendum, a time-consuming, divisive thing, way to go about it. Because other countries didn't do that. They moved forward their Constitution each inch every step of the way to give their people more and more and more autonomy. They all did it that way, those who became independent and those who had a pending sort of independent constitution. As Bermuda, I think, has one there. I don't think they would have made that in agreement with the British to look at it and agree to it. No, we can do it ourselves and have that document, whether they ever go independent or not, have to go ready, because we cannot go independent at all with the constitution we now have. It would have to be a totally different constitution. That is not an independent constitution. That's an agreement, administrative agreement with the British. So we'd have to write one ourselves in agreement with the people who are then elected, because remember, the moment the decision is made to go independent, you have to have elections and elect new people. The people who were there then, who made that decision, are no longer relevant. We have to have a new type of people elected. Maybe the same people will go right back in, but you'd have to have elections. So therefore, a new constitution should be written before. That's my opinion.
Yes, sir.
And that is what was done. So we don't need to go. I hear people banting about this idea that we have to have a referendum to change this. No, we have 19 people elected there. They can make decisions amongst themselves with the Premier and with acceptance by the government that these are the amendments we want. Take it, go to the people and discuss it with them in their meetings they're supposed to have with their councillors and so forth, and then say, yes, they're in agreement, the majority of them, and so forth. And you have that document ready for when you decide whether it's 10 years down the road, because we're going to have to face the facts and deal with this. We're going to have to make that decision at some time. So we should be prepared with the right document to govern us and take us forward. I'm not saying you're going to do it and have it ready and you're going to do it tomorrow morning. You can't do that, because it have to be preparations made. It might take a few years. Well, we could set a time. To get this all done and get in place, but we need to have the document done by our elected representatives, and I see no reason why we need to have a referendum, keep changing and moving forward our Constitution. Our elected representatives are elected there. They're the voice of the people, and that's what they should do. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
Yes, sir. Thank you, too, for sharing. And take one more, Miss Susan. Nope. Well, the call is in the queue. It's that break time. When we come back, we'll join you. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Moms everywhere, Advance Automotive salutes you. We know you have the hardest job in the world, so we want to introduce you to the 2019 Chevrolet Traverse, the stylish 7 or 8-seater SUV, voted Best Family Car 2018. Partnering with Saxon, take advantage of our new 1-2-3 offer. 1 year free insurance, 2 years free servicing, and 3 years free licensing, freeing up more cash to pamper yourself this Mother's Day. Moms everywhere, you rock. Visit the showroom on Owen Roberts Drive or visit AdvancedChevrolet.com to start enjoying your new Traverse. Who runs the world? Mums.
Wow your mom with a sweet embrace and send her flowers to put a smile on her face. Roses Roses is the one-stop for your Mother's Day flowers, gifts, and goodies. Place your order by May 8th and get 10% off your flowers. Call 922-5273, 746-7673 or go to rosesroses.ky. Everything you need to show mom how much you love her is at Roses Roses, shop number 7, Rankin Plaza, off Eastern Avenue. Free delivery in Georgetown.
Why my wife always asking if I'm in a rush when she's the one always making us late?
Might as well say, yeah, I'm in a rush and go buy the new Toyota Rush you've been talking about. Cause they on sale this month. That'll teach her.
The super special spring SUV sale at Vant Motors. Save up to $4,400 with SUVs starting at only $23,500 like the 7-seater Toyota Rush. Save money, get cash back, or use the discount to upgrade features on the SUV of your choice, including the Toyota RAV4, the Fortuner, the Rush, or the Ford EcoSport. It's our super special spring SUV sale. Only at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
Sounds of Expressions, a Toastmasters event on May 29th at 6 p.m. at the Georgetown Town Hall.
An evening of intimate poetry and live music displayed by our Toastmasters and local musicians.
Admission only $10. All proceeds go towards our youth leadership program.
Come on down and support our youth as it promises to be a night of captivating entertainment.
Sounds of Expressions.
Tickets available at Sings Rotary Shop, a Toastmasters fundraising event proudly sponsored by Radio Cayman,
Star 92.7, Audio Wave,
The Performance Lab,
FunFet, Take On Publishing, and Sings Roti Shop.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. It's open line. Thank you so much for sharing with us. As we return, let's go to the phones. Welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Dwayne.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Okay.
Good to hear from you, man.
Yeah, speaking on the motorbikes, government got 300 acres up in the East End. I think they should take a couple acres of that, at least 10 acres, and make a nice motorbike track and make some money off them guys. But that probably still won't stop them from riding on the road illegally. But what I call in for is, I see in the newspaper that people with HIV have been given work permits here in the Cayman Islands.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been, the decisions are made by the Workforce Opportunities and Residency Cayman Department, who decides that. And I don't know how they allowed something like that to happen without first asking the people what we think or what our opinion may be on it. Because if you're caught with a spliff of weed in Cayman, you're not even allowed to enter the United States of America, much less get a work permit to work there. And so I think that law, I don't think that law is right, first of all, because an individual with HIV could come here and have a sexual relationship with someone here on the island and could willfully pass that disease on to that individual. And those people who do have work permits here on the island now, who do have HIV, I think they should be issued a card, a work permit card, and on that card should be showing that they are HIV positive individuals. That if they do have a relationship with anyone here on the island, people are able to ask them for this work permit card and to see if on that card they are HIV positive. Thank you very much, Dwayne.
All right. Thank you for sharing that thought. See what others may have in relation to it. 949-837, 949-6990. And as we look at a couple of quick comments that came through, I greatly appreciate your willingness to share. Sometimes as we navigate all of the other sort of interesting things that we look at. Let's hear from you. 949-837, 949-6990. Or toll free at 1-800-534-8255. Now, question that someone asked us to sort of pose in relation to the discussion on the motorbikes, the illegal vehicles on the roads, whether bikes or cars, or seemingly the willingness to turn a blind eye. Now, the person sent a link to an article in one of the print media, wasn't able to click on it to go to it, but he says, it was where it was suggested by the policing authorities that we should ban the importation of these dirt bikes. The person's question is, well, will we also ban guns, sugar, and all other things that could be quote-unquote harmful to us? Do we ban those things that are maybe being used illegally? And the person writes, ban and imposing an import ban isn't the answer. Enforcing the laws, respecting the laws, and being punished when we break the laws. What's your thought? 949-837. Maybe the ban is the answer. I don't wish to be disrespectful to the caller or the person that sent the email through, I guess. That would be. But, like he says, is that really the answer? Hey, good afternoon and welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Sterling.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
Good. Your caller just now, I agree with him 110%.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Sterling, no disrespect, if anyone coming here as well as our own locals, we are help in the working field. And I said on your station just recently that I feel that all who's on work permit should have at least a yearly medical done, because we don't know what kind of sickness they may have. Even us that live here, well, I feel that we do get checked up pretty regular here in the island, the majority of us, because with the taxi business, you have to do a physical every year. Plus, you get your own to your own pleasure and liking when you're ready to. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So we like doing two a year. And we have our cars inspected by two departments, the license department and the public transport, which I don't have a problem with it, But really and truly, I feel we have a lot of people here working with us. They got sugar, they got high blood pressure, they got other ill sickness, and we as people here put them in our homes to take care of our young children, our grandchildren, or take care of the elders, whatever the case may be. That's a regular helper. And sometimes they have sugar problem, they have high blood pressure problem, and they are in our homes taking care of our children and our elders. How often do they get a checkup? You understand where I'm coming from? Because people is fighting to survive, and they will work regardless of how they may feel. Some days they don't feel good to go to work, but they still end up going. And you can go, the helper can go and get sick at the house, and the babies are very minor baby. They can't call nobody. The parents probably call home once a day and talk, and everything is good. But then anything can happen after that last and first phone call. You know what I mean? So really and truly, no disrespect to anyone, I think we need to have more medical checkups on this island, and especially too in the urine test, because when I was working at Cable Wireless, when they were named Cable Wireless, they randomly select you and say, hey, you got to go down to so-and-so Smith Road. They just pick you, and they didn't get no warning. They just send you, call you at 12 o'clock and say you have a 1 o'clock appointment down Smith Road. You ain't got no time to go and do nothing on this, to try to bring up what you may have in your system. You know what I mean? And some people try to remove, too much alcohol, or just had drugs in the system, whatever the case may be. So that's the way of knowing when people got pregnant. Cable Wireless was very strict on that and very up to date with that. They didn't play, and I admire them for that. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So I really feel like our population is just growing rapidly. We need to keep checking up on medical of all our people, and I'm saying that got to be done through the employees. They have insurance, and some of the insurances not even no good. They can only go once a year to the doctor and so forth, and you got to pay 20%. And sometimes people can't even afford that. But the principle is, Sterling, we are bringing people here to work, and half the time we don't even know the history of their health, and they can get sick here too from not eating properly, not resting properly, and all those kind of things. You know what I mean? We need to look out for each other. Not because you might help and you drop dead in my house again, she was good and blah, 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 I'll get another one. No, it doesn't work like that. We have to be human and feel what it is to lose somebody and to help somebody when they're sick and find out how they are doing, that kind of way. So I really believe that we need to do some more in-depth of medical through the permit. I believe really and truly a lot of our locals, they're always checking out the doctors. Really, I really believe that we don't have much of a problem with our locals doing that. But I really feel permit people should be looked into more regular. You know what I mean?
Yes, Mom. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that, Mom.
All
and
right.
for what it's worth, and WhatsApp messages, and good afternoon to you, sir. I agree with that caller 110%. The immigration need to do that and get back to the car system that they used to have before. This is a very good point, so applause all around. All right, with that, our news break is coming up very shortly. We're going to take that. When we come back, we have open line for the remainder of the program. Let's see if we can take all your calls and have you share your thoughts with us. And certainly invite you to share. It's not necessarily that what you say may be exactly what others are thinking. It may be that is what they're thinking, but they're not quite sure how to say it, and you say it better. So please, 949-8037 or 949-6990. Let's hear from you. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman. Radio Cayman's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
Local business owners attend a government-sponsored workshop designed to keep Cayman off international blacklists. Thursday's event catered to real estate agents, brokers, and dealers in precious metals and stones, and participants were schooled on government's new mandatory registration process, part of anti-money laundering compliance. For more information, you can log on to www.dci.gov.ky. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. 3 Venezuelan opposition members of parliament have taken shelter in foreign embassies after losing their congressional immunity. They are among 10 lawmakers stripped of immunity after the Supreme Court said they should be investigated for conspiracy, rebellion, and treason. The opposition, led by Juan Guaido, tried to spark a military rebellion against President Nicolas Maduro last week. Dozens of migrants are thought to have died after their boat capsized in the Mediterranean off the coast of Tunisia. At least 50 people died in the incident, with 16 survivors, the UN's International Organization for Migration said. But Tunisian state media reports that 70 migrants drowned about 46 miles off Sfax, south of the capital, Tunis. Tunisian officials reportedly believe the ship set off from Zuwara in Libya. And singer Rihanna is to launch a fashion label with French luxury goods group Moet Hennessy Louis Vuitton. The label is called Fenty after the singer's full name, Robin Rihanna Fenty, and will launch in spring of 2019. She will become the first woman of color to lead a house under the LVMH brand and the first woman to create an original brand for the group. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Talk today. But I do talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. It's open line 949-837-949-6990. Of course, you can send us your thoughts on our WhatsApp 925-3261. You can type it up and send it across. You can record a voice note. Those things still happen in today's technology, right, Miss Susan? Voice notes still work? Yep, try it. I mean, some of us use it more often than others. Some of us don't at all. Well, maybe it's your preference. 925-3261. Or you can call toll-free with the compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255. All the same numbers that you can use for the record. If you ever want to call and share your thoughts with us, go right ahead. Email talktoday@candw.ky as well. Now, a couple of quick points came through during the break where someone have shared that it seems like with so much that is happening and impacting the country that we're not able to, on one hand, balance the needs and welfare of the country and its populace, two, against not just protecting people's freedoms, rights and privacies, but ensuring that there's a sense of safety amongst all. And this one says, more importantly, it's probably a sense of fear that is driven by a lack of timely information. Now, one comment separate and apart in relation to immigration and national identity cards suggests that we should have that for all of our people. That would make it easier. This one suggests that we go a step further and being able to use some means of identification so that we know that with this when this person possesses this, as I sort of read and paraphrase what I shared, that it would determine their immigration status, whether they're Caymanian, whether they're permanent resident, whether they're on work permit, without it being intrusive. Now, that comment, I looked back as I messaged the person and wanted to ensure that my recollection was correct. That person had previously sent through a message talking similarly about identification and national ID cards and being somewhat concerned that there is no seemingly way other than every single person having to attend the immigration department at a time and getting some sort of stamp to say you're Caymanian or not. And that sort of message that came through some time back, I responded to the person to ask, sort of update it and see what they thought. And the whole issue is that we don't seem to have anything to identify those who are seemingly and supposedly Caymanian. Then how can we have something that would be effective to serve as a national ID for everybody else? Now, would it just be a picture with a name on it? Would it actually have any level of credibility and use like other state-issued national identification systems where those things can be used and accepted as a form of ID, not only in the country, but in some other places? Would ours be the same? 949-8037, 949-6990. Now, what is today? It is, if our calendars are correct, is today May 10th, Miss Susan? Today is May 10th on our calendar. So what is today? Well, it's always sent through, and I can't read it as it is sent. Not only because of the way it is presented, but suffice it to say that it's making a mockery of the notion that as May 10th, 1503 rolled around and we read in our history that's when Christopher Columbus, discovered. The person's comment is that how can you discover something that's already in existence? And if it's recorded, then was there anything? Is that an accurate, record of what transpired? Now, it may be on that day, yes, but is it an accurate reflection? Some of you probably know where that discussion will go. Let's go to our phones. Welcome, good afternoon. You're on Talk Today. Hello, good afternoon. All right. Phone lines are open. If you can call and dial 949-8037, 949-8037, or 949-6990. And if you wish, Flo would happily pick up the tab. They have graciously and generously allowed us a toll-free number. Works most of the times, I'm told, for those that can make it work. 1-800-534-8255. Dial into those three numbers to get into the studio. And of course, if you want, you can call. You can send us a WhatsApp. Either record the voice note or just type it up as you do and send it through. Either way, and we'll read it for you or listen to it as you wish. 925-3261. Now, sadly, but hopefully understandably, if you call the WhatsApp number, we won't answer it. We can't put you on the air using that number. We can, of course, read your WhatsApps or play your voice notes if that is what you intend. That WhatsApp number is 925-3261. Or you can email talktoday@candw.ky. Either way, certainly have your thoughts and you share them with us, and we'll be happy to engage as you wish. 949-8037 or 949-6990. Or toll free at 1-800-534-8255. And looks like we're perhaps join a caller or two. What do you think, Miss Susan? All right. Let's try the phones. Good afternoon and welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. Good afternoon, Miss Susan. Good afternoon to all our listeners.
Good afternoon to you, sir. How are you today?
Yes, sir. It's okay. I just want to tell the residents of Cayman Brac, whoever's seen all the activity on the sea this morning, just before lunchtime, with the two big ships that came by and the horn blows, honoring 4 great seamen, 3 from Cayman Brac and 1 from Grand Cayman that we lost, that passed away in the recent times. One was honors for the late brother Turner, Pastor Turner, Bergman Dilbert, which was a Cayman Brac engineer, great man, a very knowledgeable engineer living in Florida, and also Dwayne Ebanks, which was a seaman that traveled on ships around the world. So, and one man from Grand Cayman. I had one ship pass by at 11 o'clock, and Dwayne, it was loaded with windmill towers, to tell you how important wind energy is in the United States. Every month there's a ship passing Cayman Brac or the Cayman Islands loaded with windmill towers built in Malaysia and bought and transported to Galveston, Texas. 1-4 carrier, bulk carrier, 650 feet long, was carrying 60 windmill towers, ranging from 80 feet long to 120 feet long. They were stacked on the deck, and you could see them so plain. The ship was 2 miles off the spot they Cayman Brac when it passed by. And they are going to Galveston, Texas to be offloaded and then transported by road up to the mountains in Colorado and all over United States. And then about 2 ships a week sometimes passes Cayman Brac with the windmill blades coming from Brazil and Spain and Sweden and other places. So that's one of the great popularities now in America, wind turbines producing wind power. Also the natural gas, which is the highlight of the world's demand for that now versus diesel fuel. And I have quite a lot of things to talk about, but wants to say how I maintain and put my efforts out to keep up the Seaman's Remembrance and with the ships passing by to honor our great seamen. And the second ship passed by 1 mile off going to the Dominican Republic with steel pipes coming from Corpus Christi. And the other one was from Malaysia coming west with the windmill tower. And they weighed 32,000 tons. 60 windmill towers equated to 32,000 tons. So that's to tell you how heavy those windmill towers are. And it's cheaper to manufacture and import by ship to the United States than to manufacture them in the United States. And also, interesting thing, there's roughly 5.5 million tons of steel, powdered steel and steel pellets passes through the Cayman Island waters every month going to United States on ore carriers from Brazil for making all the steel in the United States. So that's one of the main suppliers of steel in the United States now, Brazil.
Yes, sir. And it's interesting. I think as you share that, we can see that maritime still plays a significant role. But the question is, to what extent, are we able to encourage that amongst our people to get involved, and how, the passage of that within the international waters can continue to benefit us. Mr. Raymond, you are a wealth of information, really. Thank you very much for sharing that with us, sir. And certainly what you do to honor our seafarers is very noteworthy. Thank you, sir. 949-837, 949-6990. Or toll free at 1-800-534-8255. Of the careers that we think exist for the opportunities in this country, how many of us you think would be interested in a life at sea like our forefathers? Let's pause and think about that for a second. When we come back, join us. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
It's a big Mother's Day sale at International Lighting and Design. Thursday, May 9th through Saturday, May 11th. Moms never seem to have enough linen and household items. So head over to International Lighting and shop till you drop. Take 20 to 50% off select items. Shop for area rugs. Pick up those hard-to-find California king-size sheets and comforter sets. Check out those 8-piece comforter sets starting at $45. Too many items to mention, and all at unbelievable prices. Spend $10 or more and get a surprise gift while supplies last. Head upstairs to the Bathroom Palace and take 20% off selected items. International Lighting and Design, upstairs and downstairs, Ed Plaza, North Songway. Open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 949-5141. And for outdoor shopping under the big tree, stop by the entrance of the Buddentown Church of God Chapel Saturday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and enjoy lots of Mother's Day savings. Happy Mother's Day from the management and staff of International Lighting and Design and the Bathroom Palace.
Tourism is estimated to contribute 25 to 30% to our GDP, and 80% of our tourism industry comes from cruise. You do the math. It's time to build the piers and protect our cruise tourism industry into the future.
Looking forward, looking bright.
Learn more and spread the word.
Support our port, support our tourism.
Headlines.
With the latest headlines.
Headlines.
All the news when you want it. Tune in to Radio Cayman for hourly headlines of the day's top stories.
One of Cayman's bright and shining young stars.
Local, regional, international.
Headlines.
Turning to international news. Updates on the hour between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. on weekdays. Radio Cayman News.
Headlines.
Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
At Flow, we know that 4 are better than 1. Introducing Flow Quad Play. Packed with the fastest, most reliable broadband, the power and control of Flow Evo TV, Cayman's best mobile experience, and tons of home phone minutes, all in one convenient package from only $199 a month. With 4 plans to choose from, you're sure to find one that fits your needs. It's value, ease, and convenience all on one bill with Cayman's #1 network. Find out why 4 are better than 1 with Flow Quad Play at discoverflow.ky. Terms and conditions apply.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. It is open line 949-8837 or 949-6990. Likewise, you can send us your thoughts on our WhatsApp 925-3261 or you can call toll free 1-800-534-8255. Quick little sentiment expressed. Someone sent through a thought process in relation to the, I don't know if I should use the word they use, the fracas, or the other one that someone has posted, the ruckus between the government and the opposition. The first comment from the person posting was suggesting that who is the opposition now? We know that technically Mr. Miller is still the leader of the opposition as per the Constitution until the end of this month when his resignation takes effect. But then of the 5, 6 maybe, depending if MLA Brian comes into the fray, of the remaining members, who among them will be sort of the appointed leader of the opposition. And then from there, what will that person do in relation to the constitutional responsibilities that the opposition leader has to fulfill, serving on some of the different roles and different capacities, including the National Security Council. Then from that, this person's view is one, well, where do we go? The election isn't until 2 years from now, but the campaigning has really begun in earnest. Now, some of us love politics. We love the entertainment that it sort of brings. Some of us love because of our jobs. It gives us, great opportunities to comment. Others like it because it is, sort of in our DNA, as it were. But this person's view is that despite what we may see from the personal benefit of being politically involved and motivated, how, if anything, are we being positioned? How are we being perceived internationally? And more importantly, this person's view, as I look at it, is asking, how will that benefit us going forward? Is it a case that we need more elected people to have more input in debate? And in the brackets, the person writes, read, more opportunity for squabble? Or do we need less people so there's less contention and less people for us to point fingers at? Now, was that a comment that perhaps was said and you interpret it to be, pensive and very, deep? Or do you look at it and interpret it, that person really serious? Well, what is your thought? Would more be better? Would less be better? Do we as a people become more involved in the system? Or do we become, as seemingly the last election may have indicated, less of us are participating? Even though it was a marginal reduction over previous years, that decreased number of voters who attended the polls, is that an indication of things to come? Was it just an anomaly because it was the first time under a new system? What is it? Well, maybe the next election and the one following and the one following, and then after a few times we might be able to see something. 949-8837 or 949-6990. 1-800-534-8255 or you can WhatsApp 925-3261. Now, again, the whole idea of where we are in this country and what is happening. To what extent do you think we're looking at these things? To what extent do you think people enjoy a great sense of freedom that they can say, assuming, despite the first caller's sentiments that seemingly some laws can be broken with impunity, but seemingly that we don't act, within a sort of defamatory tone, whether we, say or write something, or are we able to truly speak freely in our country about something? Take for instance the issue with the port. There are many who are very much, in favor of the port, and they have put their names and faces to it and say, let's get on with it. Then there are many on the other side who are saying, well, not quite sure that we're, in favor of the port, especially as it is. We need more information. So they put their names and faces to it and believing that for democracy to prevail, there needs to be more information. There needs to be a greater sense of a public consensus. Now, is that an excellent example of a healthy democracy? Or, as someone shared, listen, when the government is elected, the government should be able to do what they choose. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. We go to our phones, Ms. Susan. Welcome, good afternoon. You're on Talk Today.
Hey, good afternoon, Dwayne again. Raymond here.
Welcome back again, sir.
Yes, sir. You had a question about people learning to be seafarers. Well, I want to give you an example of the high wages. There is a Cayman Island registered super tanker that the captain is earning $13,000 being the master of the Cayman Island flag super tanker. So the wages now are very good and very high. I mean, that's a very big income, $13,000 a month. And today, the world shipping is such a demand now that unreal, like never before in the history of the world, that there are so many seamen needed. And we are in the Cayman Islands gaining several new ships to our ship registry. We have a few super tankers now in the 900 feet long, 158, 165,000 tonners registered in Georgetown. They mostly have Ukrainians, Filipinos, and Indians working on them. And the case would be if Caymanian seamen were interested into something like that. I have had a few calls from youngsters in Grand Cayman about coming to meet with me, and they would be interested in learning about seafaring and that kind of thing. So there is people out there that would definitely be interested in learning seamanship and getting out on ships. And today there are so many short voyages as well. When you are on the container ships or the ships that comes there with the diesel and gasoline. And change the subject, and speaking about that, Grand Cayman has had roughly 3 big tankers arrive within the last 10 days. It shows the consumption of diesel and gasoline that is consumed in Grand Cayman. Roughly 45 to 50,000 ton ship, 600 feet long, bringing diesel and gasoline into Grand Cayman. It shows the big demand for that in Grand Cayman.
Well, it certainly maybe is an opportunity as we look at it, not only for a different league as a word to our economy, maybe not only a return to our maritime heritage, but perhaps to see how the world is changing. Is there a way that we can do more here to be less reliant on the traditional, means of powering our homes and our businesses? Well, we'll see what happens, Mr. Raymond. We certainly will. Anything else, sir?
Go ahead.
Yeah, anything else you want to share with us?
Yes, the David Tiara Beach Hotel is completely demolished and gone, and the timeshares next door to it, the property is all cleaned up now. And there were rumors about it being sold, but as far as I gathered, that it's not sold, but it could be sold after a while. It's just one nice, clean piece of property now until weeds start to grow back and bushes grow back on it. And Cayman Brack's construction field, the addition next adjacent to the district administration with the new customs and I think immigration facilities are under construction there. And soon the new hospital project will be taking place with a 3,600 square foot physiotherapy room to the north of the existing hospital. That will be built by Phoenix Construction. They will be bringing in workers to work on that, to build that. And then also some change in rooms and restroom facilities will be built next to the swimming pool. But all in all, The economy here is very slow. It's only 4 homes under construction throughout the entire 12-mile by a mile and a half wide island. And there's not much going on. Most of what it is for bush cutters and cleanups. Things are very slow on the Brack. And like if we had that harbor that Mr. Cleveland tried to get, that would be a very good incentive, very productive thing in getting yachts to come by the island and spend time.
Mr. Raymond, if I could ask you, sir, do you think amongst the Brack population, Brackers in particular, do you think that they're looking at, on one hand, yes, they want opportunities for economic growth, they want the economy to improve and work to be available for the Brackers, but do you think that there is a concern that the same mistakes, seemingly, that we've made on Grand Cayman could be repeated on the Brack, and so they're a little bit more cautious with respect to how fast they move forward with developing the Brack?
Absolutely correct. Yes, 100% correct. I've been thinking about that for years, saying that we are still a little paradise here, but all it takes is a great increase in population. If we got roughly a 2,095 population now, and if we have 5,000, 10,000, every day it will be something bad happening. So in that aspect, yes, but that is another story. Definitely so. This is one of the last paradises left in the world, and I talk with people from all walks of life coming here as tourists, and they said, well, I said, which places you visited in the Caribbean and how this compares? Said, oh, this place, Cayman Brack, is better than all the other places. You're laid back and the roads are not crowded like what you all having down there.
Right.
A 6-car collision accident. Hear that, because of so many cars on the road. And Cayman Brack just got the little old narrow 24-foot roads, but they're good now since they've been repaved. But if we get a big increase in population, that's correct. And the government to keep up with all this stuff that is coming in. And
but it's interesting, though, not to cut you, I've read and I've heard from urban planners that, whereas on Grand Cayman we got some roadways that are probably 60 to 100 feet wide, that the narrower roads, as long as they're safely designed and constructed, those roads that even though that they're narrow, properly lit, and signage with the road markings, and those roads, despite being narrow, can actually be a lot safer than the big wide open roads where people may be more inclined to go a lot faster.
That is somewhat in the case, yes, but people still speed on the narrow road same way, and then it's not much, 24 feet of pavement, and then some of them doesn't have much space for shoulders on the road. Anyway, let me say this. When that asphalt machine was purchased by, I think, the Honorable McKeeva and Ms. Juliana, that was the best thing, and their government, that was the best thing ever done for Cayman Brack, where that we could get nice roads, paved roads. That was a very big asset for Cayman Brack because we were driving on bad roads for about 40 years. And when they patched the road, it was high maintenance. They get a pothole and they patch it and it would break out again. Keep putting that quarry dust on the road. Now we have such a nice surface road. So that's one of the great things that were done when that asphalt plant was purchased. And that remains here to pave the roads that are greatly needed to help the infrastructure of the island and be safe and pleasant driving on the road.
Yes, sir, indeed. Well, thank you very much for sharing that, Mr. Raymond. And when we come back from this break, I want to read the WhatsApp that came through talking about the upcoming general elections. So please stay tuned for Talk Today.
Happy Mother's Day to all mothers from the management and staff of Christian Enlightenment Center. For the past 42 years, we have been providing beautiful gifts and cards for your special day. So whether you're shopping for yourself or other mothers, give something lasting and meaningful from Christian Enlightenment Center. Choose some unique gifts that always have a good message to brighten each day throughout the year. Gifts such as a good inspirational book, a large print or study Bible, Bible cases, audio Bibles, journals, wall pictures, and plaques. plaques, picture frames just for mothers, candles with holders, teapots, tote bags, promise boxes, Mother's Day cards, and so much more. Christian Enlightenment Center, your complete Christian bookstore, is open Monday to Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. For your Mother's Day shopping convenience, they will be opened until 7 tonight and 8 o'clock on Saturday night. Christian Enlightenment Center is located at the Arboretum Building beside Cricket Square on Elgin Avenue. Call 945-1252.
At Powerhouse Gym, where you feel like home in a multicultural energy environment for all. They are dedicated to helping you achieve your fitness goals. Whether you have decided to get in shape, train for a specific sport, boost your energy levels, or even look your best for a special day. With a variety of sports options, group fitness classes, CrossFit outdoor gym, they provide personal trainers and equipment. Powerhouse Gym, King Sports Center, offers a complete health and recreational environment for the only sports and recreational facility of its kind in the Cayman Islands. For more information, call 946-5464. Email kings@candw.ky or visit www.kingsportscenter.com. Powerhouse Gym, King Sports Center. Serious results, period.
New stock has just arrived at Super Stitch. Now don't take my word for it, drop by and see for yourself. Fresh off the boat, we have loads of fabric, vinyl upholstery fabric, fabric for cushions, outdoor fabrics, and dress fabric. That's not all. Super Stitch has sewing accessories and craft items. Included in the new shipment, you will find sheets, comforters, throw pillows, bath mats, rugs, and curtains for every room in your home. Super Stitch, 39 Pasador Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best price in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky.
Most teens who drink get alcohol from social sources, such as at parties, from older friends, or from their parents' refrigerators or cabinets. Teen drinking is linked to injury and risky behavior. We can reduce teen drinking by stopping teens' easy access to alcohol. Help us achieve this goal. This message is brought to you by Radio Cayman and the National Drug Council.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. Thanks so much for joining us as we invite you to be part of our discussions. 949-8837, 949-6990. Or if you choose, you can send us your thoughts on our WhatsApp, 925-3261. Before we read the WhatsApp, let's go to the phone and take this call. Good afternoon. You're on Talk Today.
Hi, Dwayne.
Yes, sir. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I was just listening to one of your callers regarding the BRAC and its development.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope we don't fall in the same sort of trap that we fall in Cayman. Because I believe predominantly all the land in the BRAC belong to the BRACers.
For the most part, yeah.
Right? For the greatest part. But now, what is happening is the BRACers are selling out their lands. And they're selling it to any Tom, Dick, or Harry. Okay? So, now, are we going to sell people land and then turn around and tell them what they can put on it? Or how much they can put on it as long... I mean, there's a law of the land and there's laws that govern development, right? And I don't see the BRAC being any different from Cayman. If the BRACers don't sell out their land, then they must be prepared for what comes after that, and that is development, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the notion of it being that sleepy little town is sooner going to not exist because you sell a man. I mean, that's like me coming and sell you a car. I mean, sell you my car. I can't tell you you can't go. You stand driving the car. You bought that car for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what happens to us in Cayman is one very simple thing. What happens to us in Cayman is we expect to sell person's property and then dictate to them what they do with it. Okay? And I understand the dark group is over there now, so you know if the dark group is over there, suffice to say, development is going to be. So there's no getting out of that one. I mean...
No, I hear you. If I could ask, though, just looking at globally, but Cayman specifically, since this is where we all live for now anyway. Do you think that we can strike a balance between saying, hey, this is, what the laws and the regulations are in relation to development, but we can craft those laws and regulations to ensure that it's sustainable and manageable? The nice words that we like to use when it comes to development. Or should it be, as some have shared with respect to Grand Cayman, in that if the person is willing to pay, influence, bribe, we use all sorts of interesting words, sometimes maliciously, to ensure that whatever happens because of that. Do you think we can find it, that we can do the development in such a way that it's going to be healthy, sustainable, profitable to the investor and developer, get happy returns, and the community still benefits?
Balance that clearly can be struck to ensure that the developer develops his land. Again, it is about legislation and enforcing the legislation that is currently on the books, and as it relates to the planning laws. And for the better part, I believe for the better part that the CPA does a relatively good job. I think they do a relatively good job, but it comes down to that simple thing, that if we're going to sell the property, we can't sell people property and expect for them to sit on it for another 100 years before it's developed, just to keep in pace with your sleeper town attitude. But that ain't gonna work. I mean, certainly it's not gonna work with some of the developers. I mean, they're not just buying the land just to go sleep on it. They're buying it because they want to invest their money. And that's the. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that years ago, perhaps it wasn't this situation where, all right, there was some exchange of funds in order to get, but because of the regulations, the laws, the stringent laws that you have in Cayman, I would have to beg to differ that exists. Surely, I would go on the limb and say, surely the CPA that I was once a part of would never engage in something like that, and I'm sure that this one wouldn't engage in something like that. I mean, and you'd have people that would want to beg to differ from me, but it's just too much. It's really, really too much oversight that is, and scrutiny that takes place, and so everyone has to be on their P's and Q's because of the way in which they're more or less your oath of office. So I don't see that happening.
But two things, if I could ask then, just in relation to that. First, we have on Grand Cayman the CPA on the back, the Development Control Board. Some have asked, why two seemingly separate systems when it comes to development in the Cayman Islands? One country, but seemingly different rules.
Well, the thing about it is, right, is that I don't understand how you can have, it's the Cayman Islands. Cayman Brac don't have a government. Cayman don't have a separate government. Little Cayman don't have a separate government. It is the Cayman Islands.
Right.
And I think until we get to that stage where we understand that it's the Cayman Islands and not Grand, as they call it, or Little Cayman or Cayman Brac. And I mean, I don't really care who takes offense to it, but we have to understand that it is the Cayman Islands. So the laws that apply in the Cayman Islands should apply within the three islands.
Right. Right. Now, the second thing was I want to ask of you, just if you wish to weigh in to your former point. We know the Auditor General's office has issued his report and has, my interpretation, has made reference to the composition of the membership of the CPA and questioned whether that could, and should possibly change somewhat. What are your thoughts on that? Traditionally, to date, the people on a CPA have been developers, people involved in the construction and development sector. Do you think that creates the perception that it may not always be the way we would like it to be? Should it be, as the Auditor General suggested, that we could make some changes?
Well, I mean, I am sure that you would have a varying point on in respect of developers, contractors, etc. being on the board. That could lend to some conflicts. But again, once the regulations is followed. And people have to understand that the CPA does not approve, does not do approval on the structure. They're basically what they're checking it as aesthetically pleasing and it is within the setbacks and requirements. And yes, and many times variances are granted with the adjoining property owners. But I wouldn't go as I think that it's a good composition that made up on the board now.
But just so that just make sure I understand the CPA they approved the project. They may not approve that it's technically sound and structural integrity, but they approved the project, or they deferred, or they denied the project. That is in their remit, right?
Yeah, that's what they I mean, typically they'll get a plan showing, that this is what is being proposed to develop. Then once the actual project is approved, then it's got to go somewhat further in order for it to be to meet all the approvals. It's got to go through
the technical side.
The technical side, and I mean, I can tell you without fear of contradiction, I think members of the technical side of the central of the planning department ensure that you have a sound building, because you have to do that building according to what the engineer has approved.
Right. Now, with that in mind, then some have suggested, then, given the technical proficiency within the planning department, we know up until recently they were all civil servants, but we understand now that for the last couple of years there's been an increasing practice for what do you call it, outside plan review, some sort of external plan reviewers to review it and sort of put their stamp on it, so to speak. Despite that, there are some who share that maybe there's no need for a central planning authority to give approval, since the technical proficiency, the competence and the inspection and all of that part is within the remit, the competences of the planners who are assigned to the planning department.
I think doing that I would definitely not agree that there's not a need for a CPA. The CPA is really your town and country planners. And so what you don't want is just anybody coming in and going into a particular area and building a style house that does not exist there, that changes the whole ambience of that. So what the CPA has to ensure is that that things are aesthetically pleasing. I mean, you wouldn't want it to be going around, seeing 16-foot high concrete walls on people's properties and stuff. That takes away from Cayman. I am so shocked and very, very upset with the wall I see on Northwest Point Road. I always question how the CPA could approve that.
Okay, but
that is one thing I didn't agree with.
Right, but with your point then, because I hear what you're saying, certainly it's very insightful. Take two things, the style and ambience that you shared. Take the wall as a case. That presumably would have been approved by the CPA, right?
Right.
And then
that's like what I'm saying. The CPA would have had to approve that.
Right.
And that is something that you don't see happening. I mean, if you go around, typically the walls may be as high as 6 feet.
Yeah, but Northwest Point Road has recently a number of walls that have been approved. Can we take is that South Church Street? So that section after you leave the docks and you go into Smith back there, that road there. That's South Church Street? Okay. Remember in the early 90s, for instance, the Historical Advisory Committee of the National Trust, plus some others, and then remember there was a development plan review taking place around about the same time. They talked about making that area like Bogasan, but that area being one that development should be in keeping with what already exists in that area. We've seen recent times there's a new development now, there's almost nearing completion, that presumably could be very much different from the developments that we've seen there prior. So where is the CPA to keeping the style, the ambience, and the respect for the area when we look at some examples like that, the wall or the others?
Yeah, the wall, I like I said, that's the one that jumps out to me. I haven't gone around and critiqued developments that have been approved by the CPA.
No, I haven't either.
But you know, the thing about it is that wall, had I been on the board and I see it open in publicly, it would have never had my support. Not that wall on Northwest Point Road.
What about the development in South Street then? I mean, we've seen that one, the Iron Shore was cut. We see the ads for it. I mean, it's, what do you call it? Modern Deco, Art Deco, Ugly Deco, something Deco. It's horrendous looking from what I heard from the neighbors. But would that be in keeping with the area?
Certainly not. I haven't seen it, but certainly not according to what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly not.
All right, man. Well, it's good to have people like you sharing, because you have certainly your ears to the ground, but a very strong insight into what's happening. Before we go to the break, any final thoughts?
No, thank you very much. Have a good day.
You too, man. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully we hear from you again soon. All right. I certainly not keeping Miss Susan happy today by not taking the breaks as she's been pointing her finger at Thomas Stritch, probably looking even more appealing to her. Let's pause and take a break. When you come back, what are your thoughts? I mean, not just because it was said is right, not just because it wasn't said that means it's wrong. Let's hear what you have to say. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Circle of Love Women's Ministry and DCFS would like to thank our gold sponsors for their support of the annual Child Month Breakfast on May 11, 2019. Cayman National Bank, Persona Events, Wendy's, Book Nook, Marriott Beach Resort, Atlantic Kids, Foster's Food Fair, and Cayman Islands Monetary Authority. Thank you, gold sponsors, for empowering, impacting, and encouraging the future of the Cayman Islands. For more information on the Child Month Breakfast or to be a sponsor, contact Shanda Hunter at 922-3229.
I love you, Mom.
Mother's Day is right around the corner. Treat the moms in your life to something special with elegant floral arrangements and gifts from Celebrations.
Thank you, Mom.
Enter to win a Best Mom Ever brunch pack for Mom by spending $150 or more on any Mother's Day design. Celebrations makes gift-giving easy with beautiful floral arrangements tailored to every taste. Express your sweetest sentiments and make her day special. Offering island-wide delivery and extended Mother's Day hours. Open Sunday, May 12th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Order online at celebrationsgifts.com or visit our new location at 64 Kingbird Drive, Industrial Park.
My mother, I love you.
It's Radio Cayman's 43rd anniversary. And to celebrate, we're offering all clients, businesses, and nonprofits special anniversary rates on commercial advertising all through April up until Mother's Day. Increase sales, drive store traffic, and gain customers and interest by advertising on the #1 station in talk radio and news. Radio Cayman 89.9 FM. 30 or 45-second commercials are as low as $10 with 3 advertising packages to choose from. Perfectly tailored for small, medium, or large businesses. Call Anita, Kathy, or Ray at 949-7799 or email rcsales@gov.ky for your Radio Cayman 43rd anniversary sales package today.
Emma, what do you think of when you hear Toastmasters?
Honestly, I think of people raising glasses and making a toast.
Really? Well, that's far from what we do. Why not come out to our event, Sounds of Expressions?
Ooh, tell me more.
Well, it's going to be an awesome evening of intimate poetry, live music, and refreshments. Come out and enjoy a little taste of the diverse talents of our Toastmasters. So, will you be there?
Of course, girl. How can I not? Poetry, live music, food, I won't miss it.
Fantastic. Now don't forget Georgetown Town Hall, May 29th at 6 p.m. Admission only $10.
A Toastmasters fundraising event proudly sponsored by Radio Cayman,
Star 92.7,
Audio Wave,
The Performance Lab,
Funfet,
Acorn Publishing, and Sings Roti Shop.
Sounds of Expressions. Visit Sings Roti Shop for tickets. All proceeds go to our youth leadership program.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. 949-8837, 949-6990. It is open line. We want you to share your thoughts with us. I think it's Friday. Monday isn't a holiday, but hopefully the weekend will be safe and enjoyable, relaxing, rejuvenating. And certainly, we want you to be a part of today's Talk Today. So Miss Susan is standing by. She's not going to take your orders by any means. You know, she's not like that infomercial. Standing by now to take your calls. She is there. 949-8837, 949-6990. As she puts the call through and checks the phone lines, let me read this WhatsApp to you. Says, I love to hear the debate of whatever, to return our general elections back to November where they truly belong. We need to vote ASAP, i.e. by November 2020. So I believe many people share this sentiment. How much effort would that require? Let's just do it, please. Now, I can thank that person for sending this through. I can share with you. Now, I can't tell you whether it amounts to 10% of the population or 90% of the population, but I can share that it's very often, sometimes the same people, sometimes a new name, face, and voice appears, but seemingly there are a number of people who believe that our elections should still be in November of the even year. I'll tell you the reason why some people say that it should be coinciding, with the U.S. elections, as it were. But let's go to our phones. Good afternoon and welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Yeah, good afternoon. Welcome to it. Frank Maxfield here.
Dr. Frank, sir, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great, thank you.
All right, good to hear from you, sir.
Yes. Yeah, I was just basically wanted to just raise a point, with regards to the situation there with the opposition, and I know that they're trying to get themselves together, so I'm not going to be critical of them, but I'm going to be suggesting what I think is necessary in terms of the political environment in the Cayman Islands, because I think it's terribly disconnected, although there are people who are connected to individual people in the communities and they are aware of the challenges which these people have. There's still a disconnection because politics is not social work. It's not about really just being a community leader, because anybody could probably be a community leader. We have so many people in the community or in the communities that are leading in many different capacities. But if one is a politician, one is almost like entrusted with a deadly weapon, so that the whole idea of power and the state is something that I think that we pay little attention to, because it almost seems as if we're so very naive about politics, as if it's some kind of paternalistic type of relationship that we continue to have. It's almost like it's inherited from the kind of plantation system that we have, that we trust somebody and we entrust our entire being to them rather than perhaps just a bit of confidence at a time. But it's this kind of total giving up of self. And we give up ourselves, and therefore at the end of the day we expect to get whatever it is that we want. We no longer participate, we no longer supervise, we no longer are critical in relationship to the situation. And what I'm basically saying is I think that a lot of what the opposition should be doing is building some type of basis for a new consciousness and therefore a different approach to politics, so that engaging their community should be a lot more about organizing their community in order for the community to develop a kind of collective position. And I know that this is one of the reasons why that the present government district councils, because the district councils would at least be a vehicle for this sort of thing to begin to foment in the community, where there would be community consciousness, and that community consciousness would really be about a lot more than just an individual's benefits. It would be more about the collective benefits of the entire community.